for RE3. Sorry it was a bit late. This is a bit late. Things got busy at the end of school. This does include RE Resistance, but I'm scoring it to where it can only add to the score since it's sort of a tacked on thing. I haven't played the original RE3, but I did watch a playthrough, so I know the general idea of how it goes, and sort of similar to the old one, similar to RE2 remake, changing some things. And I do a review of RE2 remake, but it's pretty old, so not very good. Like the last one, it keeps the good parts of both older and more modern games. With the following of the old RE3, wasn't quite as good as RE2, and so this is sort of like it's following its footsteps in its way. So it's sort of like, it was a bit inevitable. Original RE3 is about 6 to 8 hours as well. I was able to extend my playtime a bit by playing on hard, but yeah, still a relatively small game. There's also Resident Evil Resistance we'll talk about at the end. Although ultimately I don't think the time was horrible. And it isn't the biggest complaint I have with this game. Get to that later. Yeah, it still has great combat and resource management. Now there's also the dodge. It's not like overpowered, it's sort of like a Dark Souls dodge. And for the college sections, it's sort of a bash or a punch. So this is sort of a good idea of what a more action-packed Resident Evil would be like without going fully RE6 or 5 a bit. Yeah, and especially in the Carl section. So I think that's kind of interesting idea there. The levels are still good, interconnected, good map design, level design. Nemesis is good in the levels. He's like Mr. X. I don't think he's as good as him. But he is as better as an enemy. He's more antagonizing. He's more capable. Although sometimes kind of feel unfair when he's drops down from the sky like a Titanfall Titan.
Stand by for Titanfall.
Mr. X did teleport, but it didn't feel as in your face. It didn't feel as unfair. It was sometimes it's really hard to get away from him. Yeah, but overall he's decent, but he's also not as cool as Mr. X. He sort of doesn't have that Michael Myers-esque sort of one mission and the missions to kill sort of thing. But my biggest problem is with his boss battles. That's the biggest thing I didn't like in the game. The sword narratively, there should be this whole huge, really great thing. Although RE doesn't great boss battles, of what I played, it's sort of expecting better. And so the last two, where he's sort of has this four-legged form, and just really got annoying because you have to damage him at these exact certain times. You can shoot 10 grenade launcher rounds, doesn't matter because you didn't climb the tower. Yeah, but even so, without that, you still have a lot of waiting for him to stop running around like a Labrador who hasn't played fetch in a while. The characters are still good, but I wouldn't say they're as good as Claire and Leon. But I would say that they do have a better relationship because they actually see each other more than 5 minutes for the entire game. So you do get that of them slowly learning to trust each other. Jill's sort of like this no-nonsense tough lady. Car's like this charismatic, like confident guy, and I really do like the RE characters that they have. I think their characters are a bit underrated. I'd say the aesthetics are pretty on par with the RE2. They have that good layering of like future stuff built on modern stuff built on older stuff type thing, especially in downtown area. That's really good. Next we have RE Resistance, which the bad part is sort of people sort of basically ignored it. But it's alright. It's decent. It's not the greatest thing you ever played, but it's not terrible. Uh, the survivors sort of play well. It's sort of like co-op RE type experience, which is fun. The Mastermind plays well. It's it's a lot of gives you a lot of stuff to do. It doesn't feel like you're a lot doing a lot of trying to find them. You can see them right there. Um, Although one thing I don't like sort of is that you're a bit discouraged to control the enemies. Uh, because honestly, it's a lot more effective to not. That's what it seems. Of course, as I stated in Predator, uh, you know, asymmetric games have, can really change based on who's the one that's going against the multiple. It also has another problem is that with niche games, it takes as long 5 to 10 minute matchmaking. They can get tedious. There was also some bad loading times in RE Resistance. Like sometimes uh, I had to wait for like my character would just be standing still while the level was loading. I don't know if that's a problem with just me. Um, but also in the general loading of getting into the map. Overall, pretty good game. Giving an 8.43. And that's it.